commanders. This one's going to deal with a subject that can cause a lot of consternation for those first-time commanders out there flying your ship around the solar system trying to get to places here and there and yonder. And it's called Supercruise. Now, obviously, if this is your first time playing this game, Supercruise can be aggravating. That's all I'm going to say about it, and you'll find out why soon enough. But let's talk about what Supercruise is, first of all. Supercruise is how we make our way around the solar system in a fast manner. Obviously, let's say I target a place I want to go. I want to go to this resource extraction site right here. It's 23.1 light seconds away. I can lock the destination, and the way I'm doing this is, just so you know, for all you new guys out there, is I'm holding X. I'm going to the target panel. And now I have all the locations in the solar system that I'm in listed here. Remember, I can set filters and filter those down to where places I may want to go. Okay, like that. Or I can reset the filters and find what I want. Let's set the filters to, let's say, points of interest. Okay, if I do that, now I've got all the resource zones, the conflict zones, extraction sites, everything like that that I want. I've got a hazardous one there, 340 light seconds away. I'm going to try out this one right here, this one that's 23.1 light seconds away. So I can lock my destination by selecting that and picking lock destination, just like this right here. Now, if I'm not mass locked while I'm in here, I could go ahead and select lock and Supercruise, but I want to talk to you about how to activate your Supercruise without using this, because at times you're going to need to be able to do that. So let's go back and talk about that. So let's say I want to jump to Supercruise right now, and I just want to cruise around the solar system, try to find things, see what's going on, la-da-da-da-da. In fact, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold X, and I'm going to go over to the Systems panel, and I'm going to go to my Functions, and I'm going to go down and make sure that my orbit lines are on, and they are. You know, you can turn those off and turn them on. I like to keep them on because it helps me locate planets and things. I can follow the orbit line. Also helps me locate, you know, just different things that I might want to see. So that is on. So now we just want to fly around. You know, we're going to activate Supercruise. The way to do that is, for me, I'm going to hold A. Now for some of you, if you're using a default context, you'll hold Y. But for me, it's hold A. And you can see that if I now press up on my D-pad, I'm going to enable frame shift drive to Supercruise. So your frame shift drive is the thing that allows you to be able to actually travel around the solar system and eventually around a galaxy. Now, obviously, if we don't have a frame shift drive, it would take light 23 seconds to get from here to that planet that you see straight ahead of me. Me doing 350, you know, whatever I'm doing here on my speedometer, 220, 350 if I boost, maybe. That's going to take me years to get to that planet. It's just like real life. But the frame shift drive allows us to bypass those years. It's one of the ways in which the game cheats a little bit and allows faster than light travel. So we're going to talk about how that works. I can hold A, as I said, hold Y if you're using a different context, and enable frame shift drive.
Cannot comply.
Guess what? I've got something. I can't enable my frame shift drive. Now, if you ever get that message, you need to figure out what's going on. Okay, so I don't have my. And if you look in the lower right-hand corner, I'm going to kind of focus down. Well, you can't see it there, so let's get back out of there. Lower right-hand corner, you see there are three icons there underneath the fuel bar. There's mass locked, landing gear, and cargo scoop. If the cargo scoop is open, if the landing gear is out, any of those things are activated, or if I'm mass locked, that means I'm close to a large structure or a lot of small structures, and I'm mass locked, you will not be able to activate your frame shift drive. So let's go ahead and get that landing gear put away.
Landing gear retracted.
Okay, and we're not mass locked, we don't have our landing gear out, we don't have our cargo scoop out. At this point, I should be able to activate my frame shift drive.
Cannot comply.
Oh, my hard points. Guess what? You also can't activate your frame shift drive if your hard points are out. So you may have to tap X and put those hard points away. Some of you may have it set up where if you shoot, they come out automatically. Like I just pulled my right trigger there and they came out automatically. You've got to put those away before you can jump into Supercruise. Now we're not going to talk about enabling our frame shift drive to hyperspace. Hyperspace is how we travel between solar systems. And those are multiple light year jumps, not light seconds, light years. We'll talk about that in another video. All we're concerned about now is traveling around the solar system. So I'm now going to enable my frame shift drive to Supercruise. At this point, the frame shift drive will begin to charge. And when it gets completely charged up, I'll get a countdown. And if my throttle is all the way up, it'll go ahead and make the jump. That doesn't jump me immediately to that planet or anything like that. I do still have to fly to the planet, but you'll notice that my speed now is at 1.6 or 1.5, 1.3 C. Okay, so I'm going faster at points. I could be going slower than the speed of light, or I could be going faster than the speed of light. But this just gives me the speed that I need to be able to travel the vast distances that are out there in outer space. Thank you, frame shift drive. Man, if we didn't have frame shift drive, this game would be unplayable. But we do. Thank you. We'd all be locked into one system, just kind of floating around one planet, you know, taking days at a time to orbit one star, one planet. That'd be horrible. So thank you, frame shift drive. You're here. So I'm cruising around this, so, you know, I can fly right by some planets, you know, just see some stuff, check it out. There's Rushmore Station where I just came from, you know, things like that. This is how we're going to travel around. So let's say I've decided I know where I want to go. I want to go to this resource extraction site right here. Again, I held X, went over to my target panel. I could also click in my right stick and look to my target panel, and I can select the one I want. I can lock my destination. Now remember, once I lock my destination, I can find that destination in the gimbal ball just to the left of my big dinner plate radar, and I can use that to determine whether it's ahead of me or behind me. In this case, the white dot that's in the crosshairs right now is not colored in, not filled in. It is hollow. That means my destination is behind me. So guess what? I'm going to slow down a little bit. I'm going to rotate back around, and I'm going to put that white dot back in the crosshairs, but at this point, notice it's filled in, and we can see that the resource extraction site high is now 450 light seconds away. We're going to cruise on in there. So I'm going to speed up because I want to get there in a hurry. And when you do this the first few times, you're going to notice that you don't exactly know when to slow down. Well, I'm going to give you a little hint here. When you see the counter at the bottom reach 0.6, that's your key to drop it down into the middle of the blue throttle zone. If you can put it in the middle of that blue throttle zone and leave it there, you can cruise on in. Now once you put it in the middle of that blue throttle zone, the ship will kind of adjust the throttle itself to kind of get you down to the speed you need, but you want to just hold that 6. Sometimes you might have to, you know, look up to see your destination, but I want to come in underneath because this extraction site is in the inside of a planetary ring. And that means I'm going to have to cruise on in here like this in order to get to this site. But notice I'm now at 7, 0.7 at the bottom of the counter, so I'm still doing fine. I could probably afford to go a little bit faster. Now I'm at 8. Let's get it back down to 6. But once you get it to 6, you want to kill that speed and make sure you hold it right there. Now you want to be ready. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute, but at some point I'm going to get a message, and usually it's when you see the bars on the left-hand side, both the distance and the speed, hit the blue. I'm going to get a message that says safe disengage available, and that's what I'm looking for. That's when I know that it's okay to disengage the frame shift drive, and I'll do that using the same button combination that I used to activate the frame shift drive. Here it comes. When it happens, I'm going to hold A and press up on my D-pad, and it's going to jump me out of Supercruise. And here I am. I'm at the resource extraction site high. I can do some bounty hunting. I can do mining. I can come in here and look at the pretty rocks that stretch off millions and billions of rocks off in the distance. I can look at the planet, whatever I want to do. Beautiful. Now, let's talk about getting back into where we want to go. Let's say I want to go back to Rushmore Station. Again, I can hold X, go over to the target panel. I can scale down. Oh, got to reset my filters. I'll do that. And there's Rushmore Station. I can hit A. I can lock it Supercruise. Now it's charging. This time I'm going to have my throttle set at 0. And you'll see that the computer tells me that I need to throttle up to engage the frame shift drive. It will not go until you throttle up. So at this point I'll throttle up. Once it hits top speed, we'll go ahead and get a countdown and jump into our Supercruise. And now if I look at my little gimbal off to the left of my big dinner plate radar, I can see that the white dot is to the left and somewhat down below the plane. And as I rotate that way, I can see there's Rushworth Station. Now, a thing that you'll notice is that when you're around large bodies like gas giants or planets, ringed worlds, and even stars, you will have some physical astronomical effects of gravity wells to deal with. You'll actually travel much slower around those entities than you will when you're out in open space with nothing around, and you'll need to watch that. Now I'm going to do something here that a lot of people do when they're trying to learn how to use Supercruise, and that's having trouble figuring out when to slow down. If you don't know the 0-6 trick, where you put the throttle in the middle of the blue when the counter at the bottom gets to 0-6, if you don't know that trick, then here's what happens a lot. You'll come screaming in here, doing 0.8C, you know, thinking that, oh, Rushworth Station's right there. I'm just going to stop. So, oh, wait, it's telling me to slow down. Okay, I'm going to jam on the throttle, cut the throttle, and slow down, and just, and what? Wait, what? Where'd it go? Well, the problem is you're going way too fast, and we didn't slow down in such a way as to give us any kind of an opportunity to safely stop at Rushworth Station. Now, I've had that happen to me many times. You know, I'll be looking at my phone, texting, you know, thinking that I've got a little ways, and I'll run right on past where I'm trying to go. There are a couple of things you can do. You know, if you're coming in too hot, you can dip the nose down and pull off what a lot of people call the dolphin maneuver, where you shed speed by dipping the nose down and then coming back up. One thing I like to do if I'm coming in too hot is I'll actually dip down below the station, and then I'll kind of slow down and use head look to look up, and kind of, you know, once I see it get at that, you know, slow down, well, slow down too much, I can kind of get it back down to that 6 point, you know, by flying underneath it and flying circularly around it to shed some of that speed, and then I can rotate up on it as I get down to the speed I want and kind of get almost to the blue. And you'll see over, it's telling me safe disengage ready. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just going to chop and sit here for a minute and show you something. So way over on the left hand side where it says Rushworth Station, if you look under there, you're going to see a distance and you're going to see a speed. Those are the two things that have to be in the blue for you to in order for you to engage a safe disengage. Now you can double tap. You can hold A and double tap up on the D-pad, and you can do an emergency stop, but most likely it's going to put you very, very far from the station, and you don't want that because it takes forever to travel even 300 kilometers using just your thrusters without using Supercruise. Okay, so we're back at Rushworth Station. Hopefully that's a great introduction to Supercruise and how to get around the galaxy in a quick, fine fashion. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those down below in the section that is provided wonderfully by YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And remember, Commanders, always fly safely.